Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my grief journey. On October the 8th, I lost my daughter unexpectedly, and it of course has been the most difficult time of my life, most life-changing event ever. This experience has brought me closer to God, but it also has brought about a lot of anxiety and a lot of uneasiness. On January the 6th, I returned to work after 3 months of being off to grieve my daughter. And that grieving process don't just stop after 3 months, it continue on. When I arrived on campus, I felt like I was experiencing PTSD. And in essence, that's exactly what I was experiencing. Just from a therapist standpoint, I I didn't know really how to handle it, but I knew how to handle it. So I had to breathe easily, slowly, deep breaths, because I started feeling very panicky. I started feeling just uneasy, like I couldn't breathe. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, because I'm not really sure what videos I'm going to be posting, because I do know that I'm going to be posting videos from last year, vlog videos. But my daughter actually worked on the same campus that I work on, and she had been on that campus since 2013. So that's almost like 7 years, 6.5 years. She's been on campus. She served 4 years as an AmeriCorps member, 1 year with Project Search, and then, of course, with the Step Up to Leadership Council and volunteer, she was on campus with me pretty much um, all the time. Well, not with me, but she's on campus. She's working. She worked in a couple of departments on campus through internships and so forth. And one being Chick-fil-A, which is in the same building I work. So with that being said, I was experiencing a range of emotions. First of all, I didn't feel comfortable really going back to work. I just mentally felt like I was not prepared to go back to work. Not because I don't want to work, because I do, but because the university in which I work was also home to my daughter. And that's how she was able to become a young adult, independent in her thinking. She walked that campus by herself some days. She knew where to go. It was just unreal, the amount of independence that a young adult with Down syndrome can acquire and have and learn and experience. And she had that. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, how am I supposed to go back to a place where my daughter no longer is? That was a hard pill to swallow. So as I was driving in, first I was thinking and visualizing the ambulance coming down on that same street, because it's the main entrance to the university. I was visualizing that. Where my daughter got sick was in front of the building where I worked. So I have to pass that to park. I was thinking why I didn't sense something was wrong. Why didn't I have a premonition? So many thoughts was racing through my brain. And again, here I am still feeling like after 3 months of being off work, I'm still not mentally prepared, emotionally prepared to return to work. That's what I was thinking. And I said, I gotta call my doctor. I gotta call someone because this is not gonna work for me today. I don't know how I'm gonna survive this day. And I sat in my car as I parked and I prayed. I prayed. I think I said like 3 different prayers, but I prayed. I said one prayer got my stuff together. And then I said another prayer. I even recorded one of the prayers. And then I said, you know what, God, I got this. Let's do this. You got me here for a reason. So let's do this. It was hard. Those first few steps out of my car was extremely hard. That morning I awakened, and I'm just talking, so please forgive me. But even that morning, I had to go into my normal routine. And I remember walking out of my room and going to wake her up. Hey guys, so it's still January 6th. I had a moment this morning. So my brain is in work mode. And so I got up about to go in Amber's room and wake her up. And that's typically what I do. Once I get dressed, I go in the room, make sure she's up, which most of the time she's already up, but I just go in there. Because sometimes by this time she's come into my room, but I go back in her room and just check on her just to make sure she's up, because you know we're all subject to fall back asleep, and there's been times she would lay back down after she's dressed. And I was about to walk in her room and say, Amber, and I caught myself, like literally when I turned the corner, I caught myself. And then I went to Madison's room to get her up because today she doesn't have school. She goes back to school tomorrow. So, but I had a moment. I had a moment. I so had a moment to get her up for work. And as I turned the corner, I had to stop myself. Like, oh my gosh. And then I went to Madison's room. That's my youngest daughter. To wake her up, to get her up for school. Now, most of the time, my daughter is already awakened. So she would come and wake me up, or say she was up and she's dressed and she's getting dressed. She's made up her bed. She was such a neat freak. Amber was such a neat freak. So she would clean her room, make her bed, and just have her clothes laid out a certain way. And she goes in the bathroom. She loves taking baths. So she'll take a bath at nighttime. She'll take a bath in the morning time. She'd take her time. And then the last thing we do before we leave and walk out the door is that I brush her hair. I always, because she didn't know how to do her hair. So I always did her hair. And so, and I kept thinking when I was walking, and here's the thing, I changed positions at work. So I'm all over the place, but I changed positions at work in July. And I went into my new office in August. But when I was coming in the building, for some reason, my brain was taking me back to my old office. Grief is very strange because I'm thinking, I haven't worked in this office since the beginning of August of 2019. And my brain, with all of the things that I've been experiencing, took me back. I walked into the building and turned right to go into my old office. And I caught myself again. And I turned and I went upstairs and went to my office. And I sat there and I was like, whew, that was hard. That's what I was saying. So, just to be there and not get phone calls from her or FaceTime, because most of the time she FaceTime me. She FaceTime me and she'll check on me, or she'll say she's going to lunch. And she always came to Chick-fil-A. My office is above Chick-fil-A. And I would run into her, sometimes purposely, and I'd be like, hey, Amber, oh, you're at lunch? And I'll hug her, and she's like, Ma, you're embarrassing me. But I would see her and her friends getting lunch or eating lunch. And I just so miss that. Like, the amount of things that we shared together on that campus. That's where she went to college. She went to college there. She was just a beautiful girl. And she wanted to go to college, and she went to college. My daughter with Down syndrome went to college. And how many parents can say that? How many parents can say that their child know how to walk a college campus and get from one area of campus to another? And she did that. And I'm so thankful that on this day, October the 8th, that she was with her friends when she took ill. Because this was sudden. This was not anything to be expected. And because had she been by herself, my goodbye wouldn't have been the goodbye that I had with her. So I wanted to come and just share with you guys that when you're grieving, everything is so different. You know, everything is so different. And in this video, I'm going to share a couple of my grief moments. A couple of people have said, "Oh my gosh, you look great. I love your new hairstyle. You look great. You look so happy." Happy? Who said I was happy? Because I'm not. I'm not happy. There is this sadness, and I will say this forever. There is this sadness that I just cannot shake. And though I look like this, and I may laugh and I may smile, I may deep down inside, I am still deep down inside and on the surface, I'm extremely sad. And there's some things I do experience some joy. So let me just say I'm not like terribly unhappy. It's just some days are better than others. But I do want to share that every day is different and something triggers my emotions. And my reason for recording my moments, and as selfish as this is gonna sound, is that I just never wanted to forget how much I love my daughter. And I want those moments forever. I want those moments where I talked about her. I want those moments where I can go back and I can see and hear what I was saying about her and how difficult it was. I want to remember that. And I want people to be happy with sharing their story, because I know that one day this is going to help somebody. Somebody's going to click on this video and they're going to be like, that's how I feel. That's how I felt. And she's doing it. And I am. I'm doing it. I'm doing the best that I can with the least I have, but the greatest comforter of all, which is God. I know she's with me when I don't think that she is. I know that God let her sprinkle her presence on me when I need it the most. And those wings that I saw her get, those wings I witnessed come out of her. She's able to come see me. She's able to come see me and she checks on me. And I solely believe that. You know, I do. So, I'm going to say to you guys, get your tissue because even when I watch the clips that I'm about to show you, and they're going to be all over the place. So some clips may not be on the same day. I still cry. I look at them and I tear up and I immediately I cry. I know I'll be better. I know I'll never forget her. And I do know that I'll experience some happiness. And I know that there'll be some days that I'm not. If grief was a criteria for disability, I would be on disability. Because some days I don't know how to function. And I'm beyond that 80%. You know what I'm saying? I am 100% not able to function. But I'll say this. On those days, like Sunday, I didn't leave my house. All I did was focus on me, cleaning up my closet, just not staying in the bed, but just staying home. I intentionally, not intentionally, so let me take that back. I could not leave my house. Physically, I could not leave my house. I woke up that morning and I just felt like I could not see the world. That the world was going to have to come see me if they wanted me on Sunday. They were going to have to come see me. And I think it's because I was experiencing so much anxiety returning back to work. I didn't know what to expect. And I got through it. I got through that day. And so that was Monday and today is Wednesday. So I'm in my third day. I made it through my third day back to work. I can do this and I'm doing this. You can do it and you will do it. And you have to allow other people to help you through it, the right people. And my next video that I have in my mind that I want to make for you guys regarding this journey of this grief, man, is things to do while grieving and things not to do while grieving. But one of those things you do when you're grieving is to surround yourself with the people that you can grieve with and who will encourage you, who will lift you up, and who will force your butt to get up and get moving. Do you hear me? So I have to give myself a swift kick in the butt sometimes. Because I know my daughter wouldn't want me sad. I know she wanted me to enjoy life because she enjoyed life. I mean, there was not a day that she did not enjoy life. She laughed, she talked, she danced, Chris Brown, you name it. She was a happy young woman, and I was happy with her. And I have to remember when I had days when I just did not have good days, whether it was at work or if it was something, she would tell me that she loved me and everything is going to be okay. So I hear that. Everything is going to be okay. Mama, everything's going to be okay. Mom, it's going to be okay. Mom, I never really cried this much in my entire life. And the few times that she's seen me cry is because something was truly wrong or that we had lost someone dear. And she would just say, we're going to pray about it. And she would pray. And she would tell me, pray about it. My mom would say that, pray about it. And I do pray about it. So she wouldn't want me sad and depressed. She would want me to fight through this because she was a fighter. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I'm going to do. But it's hard. But I'm not going to give up on life. I just got to figure out how to do life without her. And today makes 3 months. 3 months. The 8th day of the month will always ring in my head. So, thank you guys for watching my videos and supporting. Please share. I enjoy your comments. Your comments have been very encouraging. Yeah. You just never know the journey that God is going to take you on. And appreciate that He'll get you through this journey. Because it's been 3 months. And I never thought I will be here today, 3 months later. I never thought that 3 months later, I will be sitting here recording a video with makeup on, having to return to work, smiling, engaging with people. I never thought that I would be sitting here 3 months later, having survived the worst day of my life. But God is able. God is able. So, get your tissues. Know that God is able. Good morning, guys. So it is, again, December 16th. I'm struggling this morning. Yeah, struggling. So I woke up very emotional, and of course I start looking at Amber's pictures and just, you know, some days I'm okay, and then like today I'm not. And I keep thinking back to October 8th, you know, that morning. And everything was just fine, you know? Everything was just fine. And I remember just standing in the bathroom and, as I always do, just talking to her, because she had to go to work that day. And I just remember, do I have time to wash her hair this morning? Because her hair was so dirty. I think even when I was taking her things to the funeral home, I was like, she needs to get her hair washed. And I took her stuff to, and he said he had already washed her hair and, just kind of started to prepare. So they had already done that. But I was so concerned about that. I was like, oh my gosh, she just come out of braids and her hair was just, and I was like, do I have time? And she said, and I said, well, she didn't say it. I said, I'll wash it tonight. And that's what my plans were, to wash her hair that night. And that night never came for me to wash her hair. And I just keep thinking back. Was there a sign? I mean, she was fine. Like, I look back at her pictures and I'm like, was there some sign that I overlooked that this was gonna happen? And the only thing that was different about the day was us going to Topher's and eating breakfast and, excuse me, but just going to Topher's and eating breakfast that morning, and she wanted grape jelly with her sausage biscuit, as she always do. And then she got out the car that morning and she says, I love you, Mom, and I love my dad too. That was different because, I mean, even though she talked about her dad all the time, like when she would get out the car and I'd say, have a good day, I love you, but she never said that. Like, never said that. And I just said, okay, baby, I know. And that was it. Less than 3 hours after that, I'm standing in the ER praying that she survived and telling her that I was there and to fight, that I was there and she was not by herself. It was like a dream. It was like a dream. And I keep saying, God, what is going on? How did this happen? Why? I still don't know why. I still don't know why. It's days like this that I don't want to question God. I don't want to question God. I just, I don't know why. And it seemed like that day was like a movie. Just things were happening and doctors were talking and explaining, and
and having a glimpse of hope that everything was good, and it was. And it was like the longest, shortest day of my life. But my family didn't let me do this by myself, nor did my friends. And I think at that point you really find out who is for you, because there was so much love. And those 9 hours, man, they were so long, so short. And I just kept praying for more time. And he was comforting her the whole time. And I knew that her connection with God was there, because I kept saying, just tell God how to tell me how to live without you. Because I physically started to feel her leave me, to leave our connection. Like, there was this, I have a twin sister, and we have such a bond that, and it was like that. It was like I felt our bond just started to disconnect. Like, I started feeling her transition, and I just knew that God has sent some beautiful angels for my baby, because I don't think there's any way in the world that she would have left me to go to something unknown. And she knew, like, everything about that day is like she knew. The nurse knew. There was this quiet noise, kind of like a humming, that existed in that room. And I've tried to listen for it since, and it's never happened. But it was a beautiful, quiet noise, is the way that I describe it. And only I feel like the presence of God and his angels who came to get her, to help her transition from here to there. And just holding her, just feeling her leave me. I would never forget. And I literally felt her last heartbeat in mine. It's like my heart fluttered. And I said to whoever was in the room, and I don't remember all the people that was in the room, like my dad and my sister and my niece, my cousin and my best friend, the ministers. I told them that my baby was gone, because when that last heartbeat happened, the noise, the humming started to disappear. And when I could no longer hear it, just remember saying, my baby's gone. My baby's gone. And they kept saying no. And my sister, I remember her saying after the fact that Amber still had a heartbeat. She still had a blood pressure. And it was maybe 20-30 minutes when the doctor comes in and says she's gone. But she had already left. She had already left. And I cried. And I just remember before I took a break and I went and I sat in that waiting area just to kind of make sense of what was going on. And in my mind, I kept, because I knew she was passing. We all knew, and the doctors had told me, and they told me that they couldn't get her to another hospital because, I mean, she coded 3 times, and it just, after that last code and her oxygen levels and everything, she would have died without me being with her. And God saw fit for that not to happen. And I'm so forever grateful for that, because I don't know how I would have been torn up worse, because I couldn't have gotten in a helicopter with her. But I remember sitting in that living room in that waiting area, and in my mind I'm like, oh my gosh, when she passed away, I'm gonna be devastated. I don't know, I'm gonna act a fool. And it was not like that. I think me acting a fool has been more in private than it is publicly. But I held my girl. Oh my, I held her. I held her hand. I touched her. I kissed her. And I just wanted her to wake up. I just wanted her to wake up. I wanted a miracle to happen. I wanted to have that testimony, you know. And what I've come to realize is God was not going to bring her back because she was going to be different than she was before with Downs. That's how I feel. Like, I truly feel that had she survived, that she was not going to be the Amber that I knew and the Amber that everyone else knew. I knew that. Like, I felt that. And God said, you've done your part. Let me do mine. How do you fight with that? How do you fight with God? You can't. You can't fight with God. You never win. But he did not allow her to suffer. I regardless of how I try to think about that day and think about her being by herself. She was not by herself. He had some beautiful angels to be with my baby. So even though I was not there when it happened, I was not in that ambulance, he allowed his beautiful spiritual being to be with her. And I wasn't ready. And a minister said to me, why weren't you ready? Because from the day we're born, we know we're gonna die. And with Amber, I think having a child with Down syndrome and people, even physicians, giving you the least amount of hope of their life and what they can accomplish and what they want. And I remember hearing a pediatrician, which I can't remember his name, but it was the first pediatrician that Amber had, and I just remember him saying, she'll never walk, she'll never talk, and she'll never be like you and I. And to find a family member to give her to so that I could live my life. Because we were young. I was young. Her dad was older, but and I remember how angry her father was. And we spoke our piece and we left and never saw that pediatrician again. And at 4 months, she had her first open heart surgery. And at 2 years and 4 months, I think. So she wasn't even 3, so not even 2.5. She had her second open heart surgery. And that's when we were gonna lose her. And we were even told to have our family to come to Birmingham and kind of pay their last respects to see her. And she stayed in ICU and she stayed in a coma in an event. And I remember us getting a call in the middle of the night, and they wouldn't say what was going on, but the doctor called, and so my heart was racing. And in my mind, I was preparing to go to the hospital and see my daughter not having survived. Because it was a long surgery. I think it was like a 7-hour surgery, 6-hour surgery. It was a long surgery because she had a extensive heart surgery, cardiac surgery, where they had to literally repair her entire heart. And getting to that hospital and seeing her little eyes open. And that's what I wanted on October 8th, 2019. I just wanted to walk in that ICU room. I wanted a miracle to happen just like that. And I remember the surgeon, because she wasn't responding to any medicine, just like she wasn't responding to any medicines on October 8th. And I just remember the surgeon saying, on my way home, and it was raining, and he said that he was at a stoplight and he saw this man had on this trench coat and this brim hat, and it was raining, and that guy, he didn't have an umbrella, and he looked at the surgeon, and the surgeon said the guy wasn't even wet. It was raining, but he wasn't wet, but he just looked at him, and at the moment that he looked at him, he immediately turned around and came back to the hospital, to Amber's room, and it hit him how to treat Amber. And the way that he changed, and all of this is just hitting me. He changed the way that I think the medicines were hitting her before her blood was oxygenated. Or, yeah, the way that meds before her blood was oxygenated into her lungs and her heart. And he changed it to where there was a slow rate and her blood was oxygenated. And then the medicine. And so when Amber passed, or not, take it back, before she passed, they were trying to get her to another hospital to oxygenate her blood. But only this time she had not had surgery. So, and I just remember them having her in this weird position. I was like, she's on her stomach. She's turned, and the room was cold. And I was like, she's cold. And they were like, no, they had to put her in hypothermia. And I remember when she was a little baby, they had to do the same thing. So it was like I was experiencing this again without the surgery, but almost similar scenarios. So with the doctor, when she was 2 and 3, 4 months, and he was telling this story, and he told the story of the man and what he looked like, and excuse me, and I immediately said, that's Amber's grandfather. So Amber always saw, when she was a little girl, she would always see a man in a tree, and he followed her. He would be in the back seat of our car. It was kind of like having imaginary friend. And she was a little girl, so she was, before this, I think she was like a year old. And she was talking, and she was saying, man in a tree, man in a tree. And so one day we were at my mother-in-law's house, and I had never seen a picture of my father-in-law, which he passed away years before I married my ex-husband. And so she showed me a picture of my ex-husband's father. And remember Amber sitting on my lap, and she showed me that picture, and her grandfather had on this brim hat, and Amber pointed and she said, "Man in a tree." Her grandfather, whom she had never met, never known, nor had I met or known, was the man in a tree who was her guardian angel. And he was with her for a long time, maybe like a year or so after she had that surgery. And even when she came out of that surgery and they moved us to a regular room, it had been some time, and she still saw him. But it was because of him that her surgeon was able to bring her back. So she's had God's protection for a very long time. And I don't know the moment that she stopped seeing the man in the tree, but she did, because she just stopped talking about him. And sometimes she would look away, and she would look away, like look up, like she saw something, you know? She'll be in a room, and sometimes she would have a conversation, and I was standing there, and she's just talking about her day, and she didn't do it often, but she did. I mean, you know, sometimes kids with Down syndrome, they tend to have like conversations with themselves or whatever, but this was a different type of conversation. It was like she was talking about what was happening, like what was going on. And there would be several occasions I say, "Amber, who are you talking to?" And she would not tell me. And she just stopped talking. She just stopped talking. So her angels have been with her for a while. But when she passed, I don't think it was the man in the tree. I don't think it was her grandfather. It had to be somebody that was, I don't know if it was my mom. I don't know if it was her grandmother who had passed, like in 2006, I think, is when her grandmother passed. Can't remember. So I don't know. But whomever came to usher her away, she was happy to go, man. She was happy. She was at peace. There was peace on her face. There was peace in her body. She was relaxed. This was the most I've seen her relax. Not even when she was sleeping was she this relaxed. But it was a beautiful noise. It was a beautiful, peaceful noise. It was quiet. It was comforting. But that physical loss that I feel, words could never describe. Ever. But God is real. His angels are real. And they've been with us, with me, since I had her. How can you be mad with God? But He's allowed His angels to live amongst you, you know? Because it's not just her who are referred to as an angel, but those who have protected her. You know, she saw God's presence. And I always knew that I birthed a beautiful child, a different child. Not just because she had Down syndrome, but she was different. Her love was pure, her hugs. Oh my gosh. Her smile. Everything about her was heaven. And so now, God will allow her to be my angel. Literally. Did He allow you to lift your daughter in a dream, in a present? This happened one Friday night. So December 13th. She appeared to be because someone had escorted her to me because she didn't know how to fly. And she said, one day I'll be able to come by myself because I don't know how to fly. And I said, let's practice. And I picked her up by her waist. And I just put her in the air. And when I put her in the air, her wings just opened. And she was just flying around. And she was tickled. She was happy. You have to know her when she would get tickled over something. Oh my gosh. She couldn't stop laughing. She was just laughing and she was so happy. And I was happy. And I heard my mom say, Rudy, are you okay? And Amber said, I'm okay, Grammy. She was okay. I didn't see my mom in that dream or in that vision, but I heard her voice. So maybe it was her who was with her, who helped transition her from this physical world. But she was happy. And I just remember her flying around the room in those beautiful wings. You know, you talk about angels' wings, but this was beautiful. Like, they just appeared. And it's like automatically she adapted to that beautiful presence. Like she immediately knew how to fly and move and glide. It was beautiful. And I've told this story to so many people. And I just believe that God allowed me to birth his angel, and he allowed me to return her to him. He allowed me to witness her getting her wings, literally. But I'm still sad. And I'll never have her back here. But I know she's forever with me. You know, you just never know how. Oh, the nose is not done. You just never know. You just never know. And I look at my life with her, how beautiful it's been. And my mom would say, life goes on, right? And it does. And I've had some beautiful moments without her. I have. And I'll continue to have some beautiful moments because she'll always be with me. And like today, I know at some point I'll feel her comfort me. I'll feel her presence. Because when she comes, it's always with great meaning. It's with she comes with a message. That message is that God is love. It is so, his love is intentional. His love is unconditional. His love is forgiving. And I thank God every day for keeping me because there's no way I'm surviving this on my own. It's because of him. Because he hasn't forgotten me. And because he loves me. And he chose me to birth a piece of heaven. So sometimes I don't even pray. I just say, God, I know you got me. I don't have me today, but I know you got me. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at her picture. When I'm looking down, I'm looking at her picture. And it's like she's smiling back at me. God has given me everything I need. Even now, it's giving me what I need. This is love. God experienced the loss of his child. order for us to have forgiveness. And he experienced the loss of his child so that he would know how to comfort us when we lost ours. There's a message in Jesus' sacrifice and his love, his life. He was just a few years older than Amber. The world was against him, just like the world was against her. But God was for him, just like God was for her. And he gave her and him a reward that we all are striving for, and that's eternal life. So when you think that God doesn't exist, let me tell you, he's real. Though we don't see him, we've never met him. We feel him, and he's given us every indication that he is real. He's real. So it is December 31st, 8:55 p.m. So before dinner with my sister and her husband and boys and a couple of my friends, I started crying. My sorority sister sent me a message, and I knew I shouldn't have read it, but I did, and I started crying. So when I got into the restaurant, I just went to the bathroom and started crying. We were in a restaurant and like 4 or 5 people had a birthday. So the waiters were like going to the tables and singing happy birthday. And it just, don't seem fair. And that's the only word that I could use. It just just doesn't seem fair, And days like today, I just struggle accepting that my baby's not here, to celebrate life. And oh my gosh, she just looks so forward to her birthday, and life without her is just different, it's just so different. And I don't think people realize the pain and the void that I have. Is just unreal. It's just unreal. I just have days like this, not even just her birthday, that I just have a hard time just keeping it together and wanting to be around people and fake life, just fake. Just fake it. And people say you're stronger than you know, and I don't feel strong. Most of the time I feel like a wet noodle, like today, that I just have a hard time just holding up, And today I was on the phone with my sister, and I was at the stoplight and looking across the street to where I work, and I was like, I don't want to go back to work on Monday. I'm not ready to go back on Monday. I don't feel like I can handle the stress of my job. But I'm gonna go back, and if I feel like I can't handle it, I'm just gonna let them know that I can't. And it's just, I don't know my purpose. I don't know my purpose anymore. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. Oh my gosh. It's just hard. Like, just the pain is sometimes just, it's just unbearable. And you think, God, you went through this. You went through this with Jesus, and I know that you know my pain. You know what I'm experiencing. And I couldn't even bring myself to go to her grave today. Not because I don't love her, because I do. It's just go there and I fall apart. I fall apart. And I just want to bring her home with me. And I told my best friend, I was like, I thought about what you said, that going there, I'm only going insane because I am. Because I go there and I sit and I cry. And I cry so hard. And I just want my life back. I just feel like I don't have it. I just want my life back. I want my baby back. I just want my life back intact. Because I don't feel like it is. I just... And unless you've been through it, you don't know. You just don't know. I look forward to spending New Year's Eve with Amber and celebrating. And sometimes we'll be around family, and I will always tell her that the big party was for her. And she believed it, and it turned out to be her big party every year that we were around family. And tonight, I bring in a new year without my child. Every day without her is so hard. It's so hard. And I feel jealous of families right now. You know? I looked at my friend and his daughter today, and I was sitting there thinking, just hold on to those moments. And I don't know what I could do different with Amber. I hugged her every day. I loved on her every day. But if I could have her back, I'll hold her hand every waking moment. And I kiss her. And I don't know how much more I could have told her I loved her, but I would say it 1,000 times. And I said 1,000 times. And a couple of her friends called today, and they thought about her on her birthday. And I don't know. And I know this is my grief talking, but I don't want to live here anymore. It's just my house doesn't seem right. Going back to my job, I just feel like I just want to be away. I just want to start a new job in a new city, be around new people, and people that I don't have to tell my story to unless I decide to. And running into people that know my life. And I see one of my fraternity brothers, and I see two of his colleagues that I know, and they didn't know what to say other than how are you doing? You know, it was awkward. And one came back to the table just to say, I just want to know how you're doing. And held my hand, and I just wanted to fall apart because like, how the hell do you think I'm doing? And I know they meant well. I knew that, but this is so hard. I had to stop recording because I had a really, really ugly cry. I just felt it. And I'm just gonna take a hot shower and relax. And I'm sitting here thinking of all the stuff I've done in my house to keep from losing my mind. And I really just trying to create space where I feel happy and comfortable and at peace again. And it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. It's cute.